Okay, hi guys. So we're going to be on a new chapter, hand bending. Um, Fairly easy. You guys have all bent some pipe, so we're going to hop on that one now. Um, when you bend conduit in the field, okay, it's called field bending, and you're going to bend PVC. Or did we already? Oh, we already did that. Oh, we started half of it. Okay, sorry. Um, we already talked about that. Okay, so we talk about field bending PVC. You need a heating unit. We talked about a hickey. Hickeys are to bend RMC or IMC. What is the key to accurate bending with a hand bender? Accurate bending with a hand bender is consistent pressure. The triangle, opposite side of the right triangle, is hypotenuse. Prior to making the 90-degree bend, which requires two measurements, must know are the stub up distance and the take up distance. So, how do we get a back-to-back bend? So what would a back-to-back bend be? Well, back-to-back bend is a 90, and you bring a 90 up both sides, so it's like this, facing each other, back-to-back bend. Okay, so back-to-back bend is two 90-degree back-to-back bend made in one piece of conduit that come up towards each other. To prevent the ends of the conduit from being uneven, what additional information must you use when making a parallel offset bend? So a parallel offset bend, you need to know where the offset's going to be. You need the center to center spacing. So the center to center spacing and the offset of the angle. So you need to know how high your angle is going to be for your offset, your center to center spacing, and then you go 13/16 off center every single pipe. So the first one might start at 4, then it's 4 13/16, then it's 5 1/2 and 5/8 or whatever the next one is when you come, and then because you can't have the same length, they won't sit together that way. So one has to always be a little bit longer, and the offset angle goes at a little bit of an angle. So to prevent the ends of the conduit from being uneven, the additional information you must use when making the parallel offset bends is the center to center spacing of the tangent and offset angle. When making a saddle bend, the center of the saddle will cause the conduit to shrink how much for every inch of saddle depth. So every time we do the conduit, every time we bend a saddle, so for every inch high we make that saddle, it's gonna move 3/16 of an inch from center. So 2 inches high, of course, is going to be a half inch, right? Because it's going to be 6/16. Oh, I'm sorry, not a half inch. It's going to be 3/8 of an inch. For every 2 inches high, the first bend. So if you put that mark in the middle and you bend your 45 degree, it moves. Okay, it moves 3/8 of an inch. The center is no longer the center because you're making the bend. But if you move it and put your mark 3/8 of an inch over for that, you can offset that margin. So 3/16 of an inch is the key for saddle bends every inch high you go. When using a pipe cutter, start to cut by rotating the cutter which way. How do we rotate the cutter? We want to rotate it so that the blade cuts into the conduit. So it wants to cut into the conduit, not away from the conduit. So if your cutter's here and your handle's here, you want to roll it around it this way. You don't want to push it this way. You want to pull the handle around the pipe. Make sure that the blade is towards the conduit. I don't use a pipe cutter because it tends to put the burrs to the inside of the pipe. They may use it on big equipment, like when you're cutting a lot of big ridges and stuff, then you would use a kind. But for half-inch EMT or 3/4 inch or 1 inch EMT, you're never going to use a pipe cutter on that type of thing. Which of the following is typically threaded using a ratchet threader? What type of pipe would you thread using a ratchet threader? So we haven't threaded pipe yet. That's something we got to do. That's a second year thing, kind of, but you guys will get to that. And then we'll use a mechanical ratchet threader, and we'll also use an automatic pipe threader, electrical operated pipe threader. But you can only thread RMC and IMC. You cannot thread anything else than RMC or IMC. All right. So, number 6, a back-to-back bend is considered what? What's a back-to-back bend considered? Is it 2 shot 90 bends? Is it B, 2 90-degree bends with back-to-back on a single piece of conduit? C, an offset with 4 bends back-to-back, or D, a segmented bend? Number 7. The ends of the conduit, to keep the ends of the conduit from being uneven, what additional information do you need when making parallel offset bends? Parallel offset bends, you need A, center to center spacing and tangent of the 1/2 inch of the offset angle. B, length of conduit and size of conduit. C, stub up distance and take up distance. D, offset angle and length of conduit. Okay. And number 8, when making a saddle bend on the center of the saddle will cause the conduit to shrink how much for every inch of saddle depth? A, 3/8, B, 3/16, C, 3/4, D, 3/32. Number 9, when using a pipe cutter, start the cut by rotating the cutter blade 1/2 inch tighter with the grain so the blade cuts into the conduit or against the grain. Number 10, which of the following is typically threaded using a ratchet threader? So what would you thread with a ratchet threader? A, EMT, B, RMC, C, FLNC, D, FMC. Okay. And just remember, when you do these questions, you can always go back in the book to the beginning, to question number, to the beginning of the video, and you can scroll the video forward or back and listen for what we just talked about when you're making bends. All right. So the next chapter, so here's the deal. I told you guys I wasn't going to put any on Thursday and Friday, but because I didn't put one on yesterday or the day before, I got to put 2 on today. So you got a couple days break. Now we got 2 more videos will be on. So I'm going to put this video on. I'm going to put another one on here in a few minutes, and you guys, and the next one's going to be on raceways. So, and we'll just keep plugging along. I talked to you guys not too long ago. I'll be talking to you guys each Friday or Thursday, whatever day I can get a hold of you. I'm going to try you guys all on Thursdays. Thursdays is a good day, it seems. So, all right. I'll talk to you guys later. Stay safe, corona free.